Bienvenida mi gente, ¿cómo está mi raza? Welcome everybody to another episode of the Toma Todito Show, and let's jump right in. This fight, I could not be any more excited about this fight. I've been waiting for this fight to get signed, and it just got taken away. It's like taking the rug from under your feet. Oscar Valdez versus El Alacrán, Miguel Berchelt, was signed, was set to happen for the end of this year, December 12th, and now it's been scrapped. Miguel Berchelt ends up reportedly testing positive for COVID-19, and now it's been confirmed that the fight is off. The fight has been scrapped, and that's it. Just when we thought we were going to get this fight, just when we were getting excited for the build-up, there's been so much build-up to this matchup possibly coming to fruition, and we had it. It was here, it was about to happen, and now it's been scrapped due to a positive test on behalf of Miguel Berchelt, positive test of COVID-19. So the fight has been scrapped. There's no talks yet. As far as I know, as of the moment that I'm recording this episode, I have not seen anything in regards to a rescheduled date or when they're going to reapproach this fight. Now, what we have heard is Shakur Stevenson has been right away. He jumped the gun, and not jumped the gun, but jumped at the opportunity to throw his name in there, throw his name in the hat, and asked to fight Oscar Valdez. He's like, I'll jump in with as little notice as this is. I'll jump in. I'll face Oscar Valdez. I'll replace Miguel Berchelt. I'll take on the challenge. I'm ready. And Shakur Stevenson, awesome young champion, awesome young talent, fast hands, fast movement, fast hips, fast footwork, very good boxing for such a young star, and he was willing to take on the challenge and step in short notice to face Oscar Valdez, and that lasted for a few days until that got scrapped as well. Apparently there was the negotiations didn't go well. Not sure if it even started, because it looks like from every little bit that I've come across, it looks like the team of Oscar Valdez was not willing to take on that fight, and so that ended up hitting a wall real quick. Now Shakur Stevenson's going to end up taking over that card. He's going to take over that December 12th card, and he's going to end up facing Khan Clary, and who's what can I say? He's an 8-year professional. He's been around for a while, and he had a lot of noise, a lot of hype behind him. He was 18-0, 19-0 at one point. I think 19-0 before he suffered his first defeat, and then from there, his career. I think his defeat when he started making noise, he ended up taking on a big fight, if I remember right. And the biggest fight that he had was against Kid Galahad, and he ends up losing that fight. When he loses that fight, it's almost like we just stopped hearing about him. Unless you were a super fan of Khan Clary, you didn't hear about him. He wasn't a mainstream for some reason. He has obviously had a numerous amount of fights. He's 28-2 with 19 knockouts. That fight happened when he was 19-0 against Kid Galahad. So nonetheless, good fighter, good experience. He's been around for a while. He knows the tricks of the trade. He's got decent hands, some decent power behind those hands, and he's a quick in and out fighter. Shakur Stevenson will definitely have his work cut out for him, but the wave that Shakur Stevenson is riding right now, the momentum is in his favor right now. I see Shakur Stevenson pulling out this victory, pulling out the victory against Khan Clary. Sad news, Oscar Valdez and Miguel Berchelt is not going to happen. We'll wait and see. Hopefully they do reschedule this and the fighters don't end up going different paths. Oscar Valdez obviously in training camp, so he might end up taking on a different opponent at an earlier date, and Miguel Berchelt might end up taking on somebody else because Oscar Valdez didn't wait for him, and that's usually how we lose big matchups because of mishaps, and then the careers end up taking different paths. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully these two fighters wait for each other and they deliver this mega fight that we've been awaiting for the last couple of years, at least the last year or so, that we've been definitely building up to see Oscar Valdez and Miguel Berchelt become a reality. We lose that fight, but we gain the opportunity to see the growth and the growth of Shakur Stevenson and how his career is progressing, and he's going to have a good name across the ring from him in Khan Clary. So good matchup to look forward to. December 12th. That's going to be a busy night for boxing. One of the earlier episodes that I had was Joseph Parker against Junior Fa. That fight was scheduled for December 12th as well. And that fight ended up getting scrapped as Junior Fa ended up having an abnormality in his blood testing, and now he's going to be undergoing surgery, and that fight got scrapped. That was going to be what was being billed as the biggest grudge match in New Zealand history, and now that fight's been scrapped. The other fight that we're looking forward to that night is going to be Kubrat Pulev against Anthony Joshua. So busy night of boxing. It's going to be fun, and so one fight happening in London, the other one in the bubble. Shakur Stevenson, we get to see him. We get to see a big heavyweight match that night, the same day, December 12th. And also, let's keep an eye out for the undercard of Shakur Stevenson and Khan Clary, as Felix, El Diamante Verdejo, the big Olympic star, Puerto Rican star, Verdejo's going to come back, and he's going to fight none other than Masayoshi Nakatani. If you guys remember one of the earlier episodes, one of the very first episodes that I started posting here upon my return to the Toma Todito show was when I was talking about Teofimo Lopez and one of the toughest fights that Teofimo Lopez had in recent history, and that was at the hands when he faced Nakatani. It was not an easy match. A lot of people were pointing the finger at Teofimo Lopez that he looked so bad, that he looked average, that he looked this because he struggled against Nakatani. And to me, I was seeing the positive side of it, where when he was entering the fight against Lomachenko earlier this year, that if that fight ended up getting contentious and it ended up getting really tough, and he had to swim through muddy waters. That fight against Nakatani that he had in his thread, in his blood, in his mind, having experienced that type of fight, that experience was going to help him swim through these rough waters against Lomachenko if the fight ended up going that way. Of course, the fight didn't go that way. The fight ended up playing out in a completely different type of flow and different style. But Nakatani, no joke. That guy brings it. Verdejo has his work cut out for him. And I'm glad to see him come back. I'm not sure how that fight's going to play out, but we know what Nakatani brings to the table, and it's rough and tough style of boxing. And Verdejo is more of a clinical style boxer. We'll see how these styles end up meshing with one another. So Shakur Stevenson, Khan Clary, Felix Verdejo, Masayoshi Nakatani, and the icing on the cake is going to be Edgar Berlanga, who's been making a lot of noise as of recent, and he's got 15 first round knockouts. And so he's making a lot of noise. You even see Fat Joe, the musician Fat Joe, getting him on his podcast. And there's a lot of hype behind Edgar Berlanga right now. See if he could keep that first round knockout record going. So that's going to happen that same night. In London, that same night, we're going to have Anthony Joshua, Kubrat Pulev, and it's going to be a fun night of boxing. And we're a few weeks away from that. So bad news to start with, but great news in the end, and we'll still have some great boxing December 12th as we near the close of 2020. So take care of yourselves, stay safe. Thank you guys again for tuning in to the Toma Todito show, and plenty more content to come in the near future. Take care.